For today's Church Leader Tool, I want to talk about crucial conversations. The last little while, when I would talk with other leaders about conflict resolution or leading change, oftentimes the book Crucial Conversations would come up. And after I'd heard it a number of times, I thought I need to get this and read this book. And so I recently did so and immediately saw how implementing the tools given in the book Crucial Conversations would be an excellent addition for myself or for any leader to have these skills. And so I want to pass them on to you. I know I'm doing a disservice to the book by summarizing it, but I hope that it will cause you to go deeper. There are some deeper summaries that you can find on the internet or buy the book. It's a pretty quick read, and you will definitely be blessed by many of the teachings and examples in the book Crucial Conversations. So let's go ahead and dive in. But before I do so, I want to say that although it's not an overtly Christian book, it would seem to me to be an exposition of the wonderful and deep thought of what Paul shares in Ephesians 4:15 about speaking the truth in love. That is really what the book does. It takes the skills of what Paul describes, speaking the truth in love, and pulls them apart and goes deeper into that particular thought. So first, the book talks about starting with the heart. Start from your best intentions. And as people of faith, as gifted leaders, that's easy to do. To say, let's start with the very best inside of us. Focus on what we really want out of a crucial conversation. Avoid the trap of getting caught in wanting to win an argument or other such things, but keep your heart and your very best intentions. And in particular, avoid what the book describes as the fool's choice that is hardwired into our brains to fight or flight. That as thinking, caring, spirit-driven leaders, we can take the center road and avoid fighting or running away from an argument. And then learn to develop the skills. They might not come naturally based on your personality or your experience, but they can be learned, and particularly learn to look for when a conversation becomes crucial, when it moves from an ordinary conversation into this is really important. And in that conversation, also look for safety for yourself and particularly for the other person that you're speaking with. And we'll go deeper into what that exactly means. And also be aware, learn to look for your own style. In particular, the habit of leaning toward a fight or running away from a fight. And the book actually has a very helpful quiz to help you understand this a little bit better. So understanding how you normally come to those conversations will be helpful. And then to further dive in, it is very important that the other person feel safe within the conversation. The best resolution will not come if either party does not feel safe. And what that particularly means is that you have a mutual purpose. It's so often in crucial conversations, you might both have the same goal. Say that's the health of your church, or in a family, for the loving, caring relationship you might have with your family. But sometimes we lose that overall goal to more minor things. So establish and be aware of that mutual purpose, and also both parties should feel a mutual respect. Now, you can't require that from the other party, but you can certainly give it from your side that both parties know that there is respect. And then fourth, master your stories. I found this particularly helpful. The idea that each of us tells a story to ourselves. So here's typically how that happens. We see or we hear something, and then we tell ourselves a story, an explanation of what that means, and then we feel and act upon that story, which may or may not be correct. The book used an excellent example of this. A woman, a wife, is looking through the credit card bills, and she comes across a bill for a cheap hotel down the road from her and her family. And she immediately starts to worry about her husband having an affair. Her sister found out that her husband was having an affair in exactly this way, and so she tells herself a story about what that credit card charge means, which may or may not be true. So be careful of the stories. So you can ask, what is the story I'm telling myself? And also understand that you may have a role in that problem. Think about the other person. If they are a reasonable, decent person, then what might be an explanation for the experience, what you saw or heard? So they suggest, the authors do in the book, that the next step is to state your path. State my path. And state, in this case, is actually an acronym. So start with the facts. In the example of the wife who found the motel credit card bill, she starts with the fact that she found this on the credit card with her husband. No accusations, just simply the fact. And then tells her story, describes, well, you know that this is how my sister found out about her husband, and this is concerning to me. It's simply owning the fear that she had. Then ask for the other's path. Do you have any idea what this is about? She's talking tentatively in this case. She's not sure of what the explanation would be. She's simply offering a concern, in this case, a very large concern, and encourage testing, to just offer out and to see what the other person might describe. Now, in this particular situation, it was a simple explanation. The couple had gone out to dinner at a Chinese restaurant, and the owner owned the restaurant as well as the hotel, and the bill went in through the hotel. When they found that out, she remembered that dinner very well in that amount. But it could have been a significant, damaging, crucial conversation for their relationship. But using these skills, it turned out to actually be building and helpful and a blessing for their relationship. So the next step after state your path is explore the other person's path. This is particularly true when the other person is less willing to share. And the authors give another acronym, this one, AMP, to help draw out someone who is less willing to share. So first, to simply ask, to encourage them to share, perhaps to mirror what they see. Well, it seems to me that you seem upset, or you seem tense, or you seem distant. To just simply mirror what you see in them, you might paraphrase, well, what I hear you saying, or what I hear you experiencing, and then you might even prime them to say, well, if I was in your situation, I would feel, and maybe just to give them some leading thoughts to sort of draw them out so you can explore their path more deeply. And then the last step to crucial conversations is to be aware of the action steps. Just because you have the conversation doesn't mean that things have been resolved. In particular, who and how will we decide? That's important in the resolution. Who's in charge of the final decision and how will we decide upon that? And then regarding that decision, who does what by when? We all know in many environments, especially in work environments, we'll have the crucial conversation, but exactly who will address it, what will they do, and by what time will that be done are left unresolved. And then finally, how will we follow up? Will we have a meeting, an appointment, a conversation at some point in the future to further explore whatever the particular situation is? Well, again, I've done just a quick job of summarizing crucial conversations, but I hope there's some tools in this and that you might go deeper. In particular, the Vital Smarts website, the homepage for the leaders of this particular way of Addressing Conversations have a number of wonderful resources and newsletters and things that I think will be helpful in the long run to better your crucial conversations. Now, as I always end these church leader tools, who could you forward this to? Who could you share this with that maybe can learn and grow in their crucial conversations? Take care and God bless.